All right, well, let's go ahead and get into the news and notes. We're going to catch you up on injuries and everything that's going on in fantasy.
News and notes from around the league.
All right, I'm going to shoot through these quick hitter-type news, and then we're going to get into the injuries, and I want to know if you guys think these guys are going to play. So we're going to go one by one through them. We know that Joique Bell was held out of practice on Thursday. We know Brashad Perryman is now out indefinitely. Now, this report is in dispute.
Which?
This report about him undergoing PCL surgery.
Oh, okay.
This is not accurate, from my understanding. The report came out yesterday that he's undergoing PCL surgery. However, I believe Harbaugh said he was getting a stem cell injection, and so for repairing of the knee. So I don't know if both happened. I don't know if one happened. But we do know that generally you don't play immediately after you have surgery of any kind. So he's still struggling. We don't know when he'll get on the field. And Steve Smith got hurt yesterday. A back contusion, took a helmet to the back and couldn't get loose. And you know if he couldn't get loose, it was probably pretty significant. Yeah. So Charles Johnson didn't practice on Thursday. What else do we have here? Okay, so Kristen Michael news. We talked about this off the show. We talked about it on the show.
That's Kristen Michael watch.
I just wish you had never said the drop comment because you would just be riding high on this potential. You had like bailed a little bit.
Yeah, because there was we had gotten to the point
but
where
you've been the man. You've been the man on this. Jason Garrett said Kristen Michael's in the mix to be active. Generally, we want
he's going to be active. The question is just will he get an opportunity? We still don't know that.
Okay. We'll talk about this with Andrew Luck. The Colts signed Josh Johnson this morning.
Ruh-roh.
That's not generally... Yes, that is the proper response. It's not normally a good thing.
Well, Andrew Luck has barely practiced at all with his shoulder, and I think his throwing arm, correct?
Correct.
And so this is interesting because the Colts have a very short week. After this game, they're on Thursday night the following week. So
against the Texans.
And generally, you would think, okay, up against the Jaguars, that the Colts, maybe they sit him because it should be it's the Jaguars are
Jaguars win the game if Luck doesn't play, by the way.
Right. And normally you're like the Colts would be okay. Except they're 1-2.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. They have to win. So this is an interesting situation to watch.
He was taken out of practice because during practice it got worse, and then they said, we're putting him on the shelf basically until Sunday, resting that arm. So there's no way to know. We will not know until then. So I guess we'll just have to wait for our McFly segment here in a second.
Yeah, pick up another guy so that you're in the ability. You know, Derek Carr is probably sitting on waivers. You go grab him, have him ready to go. Last bit of news before we get into the rest of the injuries. Nelson Agholor has played 83% of the Eagles' snaps this season, which is, I believe, 1% less than Jordan Matthews. So
correct.
His time is coming. That's just inevitable, I think. Doesn't mean he's going to be a superstar. Just means that he's going to have opportunity. And if you had to flex a guy, I'd be okay with it.
If you had to flex any of the...
You're on bye weeks. You got some injuries in the wide receivers.
Non-Amari Cooper, rookie wide receivers, he's clearly the next guy to own.
Who do you want to hold right now in a gentle embrace? Nelson Agholor or Devontae Parker? You can only have one of them on your bench. Which one are you holding right now?
It's got to be Agholor just on opportunity.
And Parker's opportunity is growing.
It is, but there's so many more mouths that seem to need to be fed there. So
yeah,
the guy feeding them is struggling. The team's struggling. I don't know. I think for both guys, they'll have impactful games this season. So if that answers the question. So anything else we need to mention before we go through the in or out?
Nope. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
What's it gonna be, McFly? Are you in or out?
All right, I'm gonna shoot through these. Andrew Luck, in or out? What do you think?
In.
Drew Brees.
In.
Jay Cutler.
In.
Andre Ellington.
Out.
Now, the report this morning, I will say, on Ellington is that he's probably playing.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
The report came out early this morning that he's likely to start.
Okay, then I'll...
So, I mean, you can take it on my word or you can, follow it on your own. But Chris Ivory?
In.
Yeah, good reports on him. What about Jonathan Stewart? Now, he is practicing today.
Then I would say in.
In, yeah. If you're practicing on Friday, you're probably playing.
This has been a really easy list so far.
DeMarco Murray?
In.
What about Marshawn Lynch?
Oh, here's the question mark.
Monday Night Football.
Yeah, and Pete Carroll in going classic NFL coach. So it's going to take all week to figure this out, and he's 50-50. You need to have options. So this is, let's say you're the Marshawn Lynch owner. You didn't get Rawls. You need to figure something out. Make a guy you can put on your bench who should be available. Either Eric Ebron or Theo Riddick. I think both of these guys are okay backup plans. If you want to wait for Lynch, the game script could be great for Theo Riddick with the Lions going there. Like the Seahawks are very heavy favorites right now. Of course, they were over the Bears, but by halfway through the game, it could be Theo Riddick getting dump passes, or Eric Ebron he's been okay. So these are options on your bench that you could have just in case.
Jason, would you rather have Fred Jackson or Theo Riddick?
I would rather have Fred Jackson as a handcuff to Marshawn Lynch.
So if Monday comes around, Lynch doesn't play, you'd rather play Jackson?
Yes.
Okay, because that's what I was insinuating.
The real question, though, is going to come down to Joique Bell. So if Joique Bell is out, who would I rather have? I'd probably rather have Fred Jackson.
All right, so let's talk about Joique, in or out. What do you think?
I think he's going to be out.
Out. And I'm going to say in on Lynch. I don't think we answered that.
LeSean McCoy?
Out.
Out, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's going to be out. Then the other wide receiver there, Sammy Watkins?
Out.
Okay, let's talk about, what about Arian Foster? Do we think he's going to start? Has anything changed since yesterday morning?
I'm going out.
I think out.
Okay, and I think he'll play. Eric Decker?
I'm going to go in.
He's probably going to play.
Tough SOB.
Alshon Jeffrey?
In.
Alan Hearns?
In.
Kenny Britt?
In.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams has come out and said that he does not have a high ankle sprain. It's a low ankle sprain. He said that this morning.
He's working it with his mental power right now. He's moving the sprain down.
So does he play?
No, I don't think so.
No. Jordan Cameron?
I think he plays.
Yeah.
And then an update on Julius Thomas, who did practice in a limited fashion this week, but he is officially out this morning.
Auf Wiedersehen.